Uh-oh, we're in trouble.
Which is bad news for you if you were hoping for something short. I do want to certainly thank the Board of Education, Charlie and Ron for deciding to name the studios after me, and Paul Cullen. I follow Twitter. At one time I had 8 Twitter accounts I was managing. But PK Sports, man, he is everywhere. I don't know. He amazes me at how many different places he has gone to record video of Bloomfield Hills students. I've never seen a school board member as involved in what's happening in the district as Paul Cullen. So thank you, school board. So I have some comments. You know, whenever I see some building or a park or an airport, you know, example like at Metro Airport, there's the McNamara terminal. And you wonder, who is this McNamara guy? Now, us older people, we know who McNamara is, but I'm sure young people are going, who is this guy and why are they naming a terminal after him? Did he die? So, I was driving the other day and I saw the Charles L. Bauer School Farm. And I go, well, who is this Charles L. Bowers guy? And what did he do to get the farm named after him? LOL. Anyway, as far as the Pete Bauer studio, I know that there's students, even now, and students in the future who are going to say, now who's this Pete Bowers guy? And why is his name on here? Why is the studio named after him? So, I took it upon myself in my retired state to jot down a few things that someone, most likely Ron, would say if asked that question. Well, Pete Bowers was born and raised in Bloomfield Hills, and at only age 23, he was hired to be the manager back at the high school that he graduated from. It was the Welcome Back Cotter thing, for those of you that remember that. Going to the high school, or working at the high school that he went to. So he started the station from scratch, getting equipment installed, students trained and on the air by October 1, 1976, and continued in that capacity for 41 years with teenagers. Complementing his class, he took students to tours of commercial stations, radio conventions in Lansing, Chicago, New York City. He took students to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to broadcast in Cleveland. Bowers was named by several high school broadcasting teachers. And let me stop right there. We have 2 of the most supreme, awesome, one's a former broadcasting teacher, Dave Lake from Novi here, and next to him is Bill Keith from Plymouth Canton Schools. Dave retired a few years ago. Bill's still going. Bill is the go-to guy now that Pete Bowers has retired. And I'm so honored that you two could be here today. It makes my day. Anyway, he also took students and was a featured speaker at radio conferences in Chicago, Las Vegas, New York, Orlando, San Antonio, Atlanta, Seattle. Under his watch, students won hundreds of state and national awards. Biff students won Michigan High School Station of the Year 10 times, more than any high school station in Michigan. Of course, Bill Keith now just won recently Best Station in the state. He's got a lot of those gold records like we have here. They won Best Station in the nation 6 times, tied with the most of any station in the U.S. And Bowers himself was Best Advisor in the nation twice. How did that happen? The only advisor in the U.S. to win it more than once. His students called him their radio dad, and he couldn't have been prouder of all of his students who got recognized on a state and national level. He was big on using props in his teaching.
Lights out.
Lights out.
Hit one of the motions. Hit one of the
It's
motions.
a signal. I wonder why they're doing that.
Your dad's
It's like those
looking down
game-
on repeat.
What's
Yeah,
that?
really.
Your dad's looking down on repeat.
We'll soon
It's a
sign.
sign from God.
Okay. By the way, I'm wearing my dad's ring. This was my dad's ring. I had it fixed so I could wear that. So he's here in spirit. as is my mother. Where was I? He was big on using props in his teaching. He had an antique school bell that he would ring to start class. If anyone said something inappropriate, he would give them a soccer referee yellow card, or worse, a red card. He used a fake microphone to pretend he was on the air. Sophie knows, Patrick knows. He would, we hear stories about him throwing used dry erase markers across the room into the wastebasket, backflipping empty water bottles into the wastebasket. And one time there's a story that he climbed on a teacher's desk with a hole puncher on his head to pretend he was a satellite 22,000 miles above space. There's actually a picture of that. Somebody got a picture. He was known to flip an imaginary switch on his neck to change his voice to a 70s top 40 DJ. Click. Bloomfield Hills weather, mostly sunny today with a high of 88 degrees. Mostly dark tonight with a low of 60. Chilly today, hot tamale. Now, much more music. Stacks of wax and mounds of sounds. Here's Gwen Stefani and No Doubt with Spiderweb. It's called a Bowersism. I had a lot of Bowersisms. One time I accumulated 100 Bowersisms on a flight from Seattle. I had nothing else to do, so I wrote them down. With his experiences, Bowers tried to give back to younger radio teachers and students by serving for many years as president of the Michigan Association of Educational Broadcasters. Dave Legg was an original member of that group, and Bill Keith was very, very active as president himself for many years. He served as the Michigan Association of Broadcasters Foundation, making sure his students attended the MAB-sponsored Broadcasting Career Builder Conference every year, and the Great Lakes Broadcasting Conference every year. But Bowers will most be remembered on a national stage when he created High School Radio Day, a day when high school broadcasters and their advisors celebrate the uniqueness of high school radio. Currently, there are 83 stations from 31 states who participate in High School Radio Day annually, and that number is growing. Advisors are communicating with each other via email, Facebook, and Twitter. There's a high school radio app and a newly created high school radio network where stations air programs from other stations on their own stations. One advisor was heard to say that none of that would have happened without the creation of High School Radio Day. Bowers made it possible for students to catch the broadcasting bug if they wanted to. He provided a launch pad for those that wanted to continue studying media in college and for those who went on to a career in one of the many media fields. Over 100 of his former students have worked in media fields. Some are here today. I'm looking at Jake. Hi, Jake. Gator's here. There's Gator. Stu Best is here. I missed somebody. Bowers continues to brag about his former students on the WBFH Alumni Facebook group. Matt Friedman, where are you, Matt? This guy is on radio, he's on TV, he's in newspapers, he's in magazines, he's a media mogul. I can't keep up with all the stuff that Matt Friedman does on the Facebook group. And so I have to pick and choose. Well, that's a biggie, let's put him on there for that. Matt, you're amazing. But Bowers didn't let his students have all the fun of radio broadcasting over, of course, the FM dial and globally on the Biff radio app. He did his own radio show Mondays from 3 to 5, a show called Bagley's Corner. Bagley's Corner was the first name for Bloomfield Hills. Google it if you don't believe me. A show featuring local news, sports, and information with special guests like teachers, like school board members like Paul Colin, like the superintendent Rob Glass, high school principals like Charlie and others. And he also filled in as play-by-play announcer for over 100 high school sports games. I did basketball games and football games even with Eric. It was awesome. Bowers and his students also served the community doing hundreds of remote broadcasts and hundreds of mobile DJ events like homecoming dances, daddy-daughter dinner dances, and several Lasser proms. Bowers and his students also raised thousands of dollars for the March of Dimes to fight birth defects at their annual Spring Celebration Marathon broadcast. Stuart Best has some stories about that for sure. He designed the new studios that we have here at BHHS, but he wasn't very good looking. That's why he's in radio. That's what Pete Bowers was. So when people come in and they go, "Who's Pete Bowers?" Ron, I'm going to give you these 5 sheets here, and you just start reading them.
I'll memorize and commit them to memory. Yeah.
Gotta hydrate. Bowersism. I was thinking a lot about this. I wish I could share things like, could we have the Ron Whittle's console? The Matt Friedman CD player? The Gator microphone? The Heather, what do you want? The keyboard. What else we got here? Jake? You want the jukebox? The Matt, let's see, you got the CD player? In 90, we played CDs in 90, didn't we? Yeah, sure we did. Stu Bass, what do you want? I wish I could put names of you former students on some of these things, because you're the reason this is happening at all. You are why I'm here today. So, some people have asked me, how's retirement going? I want you to know, here's a report. I joined a retired old guys breakfast club. You know, those guys that meet at the restaurant every once in a while, gray hairs. Problem is, right now I'm the only member, because I'm new over there. So I hope to recruit some new members soon. Good thing I'm schizophrenic, or I'd have no one to talk to. Yes, you would. No, you wouldn't. Yes, you would. Bowersism. I did pick up an addiction, though. I'm addicted to soap. It's okay, I'm clean now. Bowersism. Jim liked that one. It's my brother Jim. The oldest of 3. I was the baby. And by the way, my brother Tom, he's watching. I installed an invisible fence for my invisible dog. I'm reading more. I started reading a book about anti-gravity. I just couldn't put it down. That one actually wasn't bad. I decided I'm going to become an atheist. But then I quit because atheists don't have any holidays. So last week I walked into a bar with a priest, a rabbi, and an atheist. Bartender says, "What is this, a joke?" Paul like that. Okay, Sophie and Patrick, current students. Do you miss all my dumb, corny jokes and puns? Do you miss them? Yes. You do? You're just saying that. Why, you don't have to butter me up anymore. I don't do your grades anymore. Here's a hot topic. There's talk of giving teachers guns in school. Well, here's a little secret. I had not 1, but 2 guns in the station. Max gun and Josh gun. Took me an hour to think of that one. Okay, no more jokes. Now I would like you to use your imagination. I would like you to imagine that you're in my shoes. Size 13, by the way. Tyler, is that you? Tyler Keefe is here, another former student. Imagine you're in my shoes, size 13s. What if you received comments like these? Peter Starkle on Facebook. They were asked, who's your favorite teacher in high school? Peter Starkle says, out of all the teachers, I would say that Pete Bowers had the most lasting impact on my life. I don't believe I went longer than a year since I was 12 without being involved with radio. I owe much of that to the way Pete guided all of us at WBFH. Celeste Montone said, "I was just being honest about you being one of my favorite teachers. Even though I didn't end up in the communication career field, I have carried many of the lessons you taught me into my adult life. I have even used some of your methods with my own 3 children." That cracks me up. "You were like no other. I was just lucky enough to have experienced your generosity, kindness," joking up, "knowledge and caring spirit firsthand." Stacy Daniels said, "You were one of my most influential teachers. So many lessons I learned from you, I still apply today." Andrea Mellon, 3 words, best teacher ever. If you were in my shoes, if you were in my shoes, how would you feel reading that? Warm. Can you feel the warmth? Then, I get a package in the mail. It's a book written by former Biffer Rob Simpson. Class of 80, early 80s. 82. Here he is. This is his new book. It's called No Heavy Lifting, Globetrotting Adventures of a Sports Media Guy. He wrote one about Red Wings. It's awesome. You gotta, if you're a Red Wings fan, you'll want his Red Wings book. Okay, and there's stories in here about being a professional radio and TV broadcaster. In fact, there's 2 chapters in here that are filled with stories about working at the Biff when he was in high school. Amazing. They covered the NBA. They got NBA passes to cover the Pistons when they were in the Silver Dome. 1, the team was bad, and they would let anybody come in, even high school broadcasters. And 2, they had lots of room in the Silver Dome. This chapter talks about going into the locker room to interview players after the game, like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So I happened to look at the first few pages, and on the dedication page to Pete Bowers, Pete Bowers and Rick Blackwell, broadcasting legends in my world. $19.95 at Amazon. You know what though? I'm actually mad.
Why?
He forgot to autograph it. Nimrod, he sends me the book so I'm going to get an autograph.
Yeah.
If you were Pete Bowers, how would that make you feel? Well, I want to close by thanking the school board for this great honor, all the work that went into it with Charlie and Ron. I'm humbled, I'm appreciative, I'm grateful, and I want to thank all of you. I'm sure there's some place you'd probably rather be. iDub, is that you? Amani, I call her iDub. That's something between her and me. That's my nickname for her. I didn't see you until right now. Thank you for coming, a current student. Did you catch some of my dumb jokes and puns? Of course. You know what? Even though I'm not here, I still get texts from current students even. I'm still connected. And Al Eicher is here. He did these ox roasts from the Bowers Farm, before it was the Bowers Farm. And the Biff did live broadcasting from the Bowers Farm using, Stuart, telephone line for our connection. We had to get a telephone line plugged into the, what was that one place that they put us? I forget it, but
Probably at the farmhouse. There
Yeah.
was a
Under the fruit cellar
and
thing.
Al Eicher did those
Oh, in the
ox
fruit
roasts,
cellar?
so
In the fruit cellar, yeah.
that was such
In
a
fact,
fun.
I have documented your dad's parade of all the antique cars. And if you go on the Bloomfield Hills Historical website, they just put it up there.
Awesome.
The ox roast at the farm and your dad's parade. It's up there.
I heard about that. I want to thank you all for attending. You know, it really means a lot to me. I've got my green today. Happy St. Patrick's Day, if you've got any Irish in you. Happy March Madness to you. Gator's wearing his green. Go green. Thank you. I don't know how many people I have bragged about. Yeah, you ever listen to the ticket that got from 10 to 2, Gator? You know what, I miss Gator. I'm on the west side now. I gotta get you online. I used to eat lunch in there every day by myself. I'd kick the students out. Patrick knows. Get out of here, guys. I get half an hour to eat my lunch. Put on Gator and Doug. It was the best. And once in a while, I would text Gator while he's on the air. Like, oh, by the way, Kristen Bell is from Huntington Woods, just so you know. And then, like 5 minutes later, Gator would go, yeah, you know, Kristen Bell's from Huntington Woods. How did he know that? I'm just messing. I want to close with some inspirational words. A couple. Again, this and this is awesome. I have some inspirational words that my grandfather told me before he kicked the bucket. He said, I wonder how far I can kick this bucket. Tyler, is that good? Thumbs up on that one? Poor Claudia. Being retired, I'm home with her every day. She's going, don't you have, go to the grocery store, just go somewhere. And her friend Nancy is here today too.
I have a guest room now.
Adam slept in your guest room, I hear.
Yes.
So my brother, Jim, is wearing his Biff hat today. But when I was 60, at my house, I was having breakfast. It was my birthday, and out of the dining room walks my son Adam. About died. He flew in from Atlanta. Eric picked him up at the airport after midnight, after I had gone to bed. They somehow snuck in, tiptoed in, and then the next morning he surprised me for my 60th birthday. So we're walking in this is the Day Commons, by the way, the Ingrid Day Commons. And over there, I guess, later on is the Night Commons. All right, that one not so good. Anyway, Adam's walking out of the bathroom. I had no idea he was going to be here today. And Eric is in Vancouver with his fiance, and there's wedding bells this summer for them. So that was so cool that he got to be here via video. So,
What's the symbol for wrap it up?
broadcasting is this one, right, Ron? We're going to take a break and have some cookies and water. Thank you for coming.
All right. Hey.